Hey everyone, it's Gabe Weaver. I'm the Senior Product Manager for the Project Management Group in the planning stage of GitLab. Today we are going to be talking about the 13.6 release, and this is the kickoff video. So we have two main themes for this upcoming release, and the first is an ongoing one that we've been working on, and that's planning with work with iterations. So the main focus for my group for the remainder of FY21 is going to be providing best-in-class capabilities for single teams that utilize common agile methodologies like Scrum, Extreme Programming, and Kanban. Now, with these teams, over 75% of them rely on iterations or sprints in Scrum to plan and manage their work. So this is why we're focusing mainly on making this a first-class experience within GitLab. And for 13.6, we're going to focus on 4 key improvements here. The first one is going to be the ability to add iteration lists in boards. So right now, iterations don't exist in boards. But as a product manager like myself, I need to be able to see and manage multiple iterations into the future and within a single view so that I can plan work for my team. And so this is going to follow for the MVC a common pattern where we're just going to be able to add iteration lists. And then the goal is to kind of enhance this and iterate on it so that you can do some automated list management for your iteration. So show me my current iteration and then automatically show me the next 5 that are upcoming. So that's adding iteration lists in boards. We also want to properly handle state for closed issues. So right now, if I go look in an iteration report after it's been done or closed, the stats continue to change. So the completed amount, the incomplete amount, that varies even after the date the iteration is closed, but it really should be a snapshot in time. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that these numbers, once the iteration is over, never change and they're immutable. That will provide a better historical snapshot when you're going back to check on how you did during the previous iteration. The other is grouping issues by label within the iteration report. So a lot of teams like GitLab ourselves, we use this group project management label to denote what is my issue or my team's issue. And since iterations live at the group level right now, and that was intentional, and issues from many teams and projects can roll up into a single group iteration report, there's currently no way to group or see specific labels that maybe my team is responsible for or group issues according to that. So the first thing we're going to be doing is adding the ability to group issues by label. So there'll be a kind of a new selector down here where you can specify if you want to group by label is the first one. We're also going to work on assigning an epic after that. But this will more or less create the groupings of all the issues according to different labels. Once we have this initial MVC in place, we'll then expose the ability to select all the labels that you want to view your groupings by. The fourth final thing we're going to do for iterations to improve it is we're going to provide the ability to scope a board to a current iteration. So we talked about adding iteration lists in board. That's if I want to plan in the future. And then this is to allow a board to be scoped to the existing current iteration. And because of the way that we've designed iterations, you don't have to specify what the current is. There can only ever be one current iteration. So it's just going to be a simple checkbox if you want to scope the board of the current iteration. And this will make sure that only issues that are within the current iteration will be shown. The second major theme we want to work on is kind of an ongoing, will always be a theme I think within my group is usability and quality of life improvements. So within these, some of the ones that we want to kind of highlight is the first is removing a board upsell list. So when you create an issue board for the first time, we've added the ability to automatically create a couple lists for you. But there's a sort of weird list that gets added to encourage you to upsell and upgrade your plan. After doing some data analysis, we kind of found that out of all the times that this list has been shown, it only was clicked on 3 times out of the months that it's been there, and it's never converted. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and remove that because it's kind of a bad first touch experience, especially if you've never used boards before. So we want to make it a more like friendly first touch experience. The next thing we want to do is we've kind of been working on this in the back end for a while, but if you try to autocomplete somebody by tagging them in a comment, it doesn't work well to search by name, but we're going to make it so that you can search by both username and first name. So this is going to be a nice thing. If you don't know what somebody's GitLab handle is, you can also find them by their first or last name. This is one of our stretch goals that we have, but it's cloning an issue with a quick action and also a UI element. And so a lot of common use cases are when somebody is creating an issue and they know that they have 2 projects that they need to create the issue in. Maybe it's an iOS app and maybe it's the API. Instead of having to go manually create that in both places, what we want to be able to do is you can create one issue and you can clone it. You can clone it into your current project, or you can clone it into a target project. So this will make it easier to create a lot of issues, especially if they're similar and you maybe just need to change one or two things quickly. And the way this will work is once you start the clone, you select the project you want to clone it to, it will take you to the new issue creation form with all of the data pre-populated. So if you just need to change a label or title or a few things, you can do that quickly, and then you can go ahead and create the issue. Another one of our stretch goals is going to be forwarding an email to an existing issue as a new comment. So right now, if I leave a comment, I can go check my notifications in my email client, and I can go ahead and respond to that. We'll post back into the issue, but there's no way to start a new comment directly from an email. So what this will do is each issue will have its unique email address that is kind of obfuscated a little bit, so it's not easy to guess, but it will be the same email address for the length of the issue. And you can copy that quickly via the reference area down here in the bottom. And once you do that, you can create a new email in your email client with the to address being the one that you copy onto your clipboard. You can fire that off and it will create a comment on behalf of GitLab bot. And then the future iteration will be detecting whether or not that email is coming from an existing GitLab user or project member. If so, we go ahead and post it on their behalf. So there's a preview of some of the quality of life improvements, stretch goals, and things that we're focused on for 13.6 in project management. Thanks for checking it out. Bye.